Hello, 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 dear people. Are you here with me? Just joking, y'all. I'm not about to use my preacher voice today. I am trying to get started, and y'all gonna see me because when you come in, let me know that you are here. And while y'all are coming in, let me fix my hair because it was looking real cute in my bathroom, and then I got on this live, and I was like, "Ooh, I look crazy." So we gonna do with something. Or it's just gonna do what it's gonna do, and I'm gonna leave it be. So while y'all are here, I am checking to make sure that it's coming up in the group. Let's see. Okay, I see that I'm there. I see at least on my phone, I see that I have 3 people here. So if you are here, please, please, please go ahead and say hey in the comments. Let me know that you are here and where you're from. That's how we're going to get started today. Good morning, Naila. And if I'm saying your name wrong, go ahead and correct me in the chat. You said it's difficult to hear me. Thank you for letting me know. Let me turn my volume up. That's crazy, right? What about now? Can you guys hear me okay? And just so you guys know that is I'm on a lag right here. So with your comments, so if you're saying anything, I can't hear you. Thank you, thank you. Naila, that's because Black women always get it right, right? All right, so thank you, Jaquel, for being here. Damika, I'm so glad to see you here today, too. Y'all know people run on CP time, so we're going to give people about a minute to get started. Good morning, LaShawn from South Carolina. Yes, I'm all the way in South Carolina this morning. So, for those of y'all that are new to me, I am here in Dallas, Texas. That's not where I'm from, but I guess I should claim it. So I'm going to give folks just another 30 seconds and then we're going to go ahead and get started because I want to make sure that I'm respecting the people that are here now. And I want you guys to get this juicy goodness. And so let me give you my little spiel about who I am while folks are streaming in. I am Aaliyah, your spiritual coach. And if you haven't been on my website before, or this is your first time interacting with me, then you don't know that I'm a hoodoo practitioner. Hoodoo is who I am in my heart. It's who you are in your heart as Black women too. And I do a lot of teaching, not just from hoodoo tradition because of who I am, but my goal is really to help set Black women free. Full stop, period, point blank. And so that's why I'm here and that's why I do what I do. I have other little titles behind me. I have other expertise, but that's what I want you guys to know about who I am today. So if this is your first time, do I have any first timers here from Sister Sanctuary or first time joining me live? If you are a first timer, even on the replay, go ahead and type 1 in the chat while I let y'all know what to expect from me because this is not going to be your regular sanctified holy Sunday mornings experience. I need y'all to get to know me, and the first thing that y'all should know is 1, I cuss. We cuss up in here. 2, we are not all about any kind of shaming. So I don't care if you on the other side naked, because if you saw me, you know that I'm only dressed from the top up. We don't do any shaming. It's all love here. It's all bodies. It's all sexualities. It's all gender expressions. As long as you're on the femme side of the spectrum, we are really here about affirming who you are. So I'm a cuss. I'm a speak to y'all real. We're going to get it together because again my mission here is to set you free and we can't do that with any of the niceties and the pretties and this and that. You can go to your regular church for that if that's what you're here for. So yes, I'm so happy to see all of these first timers. I have Damika, Letitia, Naila, Honey, LaShawn, and Natasha so far coming through from the first time. Hey sis, hey. So let's go ahead, and the first thing I want us to do is we're going to start off with some prayer and meditation. We're going to start off with prayer and meditation because I want to set the intention for our space today. I want to set the intention for how we're going to spend our time today. And I want to set the intention in your heart so that you can receive all that it is for you, all that is for you, by you, that's going to edify you. And I want you to make sure that you are receiving it in every pore and every fiber of your being. So Let's go ahead. If you are not comfortable, I don't care if you in your bed, rolled over, still with that bonnet on. That is cool and that's cute. I don't care if you at brunch right now, sipping on a mimosa. Usually I am too, but I'm sipping on this frappuccino that I ain't got no business drinking. But or if you're drinking some water, I just want us to get into a comfortable space. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Betta. All my people here. So I want you just to get comfortable in your body. Get comfortable in your body. If you're comfortable and able to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you're driving right now hearing this message, don't close your eyes, but just soften your gaze. And we soften our gaze by relaxing the muscles around our eyes and looking about 18 inches, 2 feet in front of us, lowering our eyes. When you're in this space, we're going to do a body scan. You're going to start from the bottom of your body, whether that's your toes or if you have a different body type, your bottom part. I want you to notice and release the tension in your toes. I want you to notice and release the tension in your calves. I want you to release the tension in your knees and in your thighs. I want you to soften your belly. Let her hang. Let her be free. I want you to notice the space in your lower back and release. As you're releasing, I want you to slow down your breath and stop trying to control it. I want you to relax your chest. Drop your shoulders. I want you to create a little space between your teeth and soften your tongue. I want you to release your forehead. I want you to notice the buzzing at the crown that's at your very, very top of your head. And as we sit in this place of not just relaxation, but connection, I want to first honor our Creator, Mother, Father, God, by whatever name that you call him, her, it, all be. I want to acknowledge all of the spirits, the benevolent spirits that are here with us today. The ones that protect us, the ones that bring us wealth and pleasure, the ones that make ways out of no ways. I want to acknowledge all of the ancestors that are here that have brought us here. I'm going to say the name of my ancestors who are elevated. That means those who are, I respect, those whose name I know, and I invite you wherever you are to say the names of your ancestors that made a way for you. Say it out loud if you can, and if you can't, say it in your heart. I always give thanks to Roy and Maxine Adger, to James Anderson, to Melindy Anderson, to Beulah Barber. I give thanks for all of the ancestors known and unknown who have created us to be who we are today. For the ones that make a way out of no way, the ones who blood spilled and shed so that we can be here, the ones who delighted in joy and reveled in goodness, the ones that always had a smile on their lips and a song in their heart. We invite you here today. We invite you here today because we know that this is not just an online interaction. We know that we are changing the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. We know that it is not by accident that we are here and gathered here today. You know the longing in our hearts and the songs in our hearts and the desire of our hearts. And we thank you for creating this opportunity for us to tap in and to know. We ask that as we listen to whatever message come forth from you today, that we remove our ego An ego is simply our humanness that only can see through limitations and barriers. We ask for an expansive experience so that we can know it not just in our head, but know it in our bodies and our hearts. We ask that we just have so much joy and knowing and presence today, that we connect with each other, but more importantly, that we connect with ourselves, our higher selves, so that we can know and that we can receive and so that we can see things clearly. We ask you to remove any obstacles, limitations, doubt, fear, hindrances that are in our way so that we can receive. And we say all of these things in a name that is good, in a name that is holy, whether it's Amen, Ashe, or Hey, yes, or Oh, yes. Thank you, and know this with me. Mm. Ooh, y'all. Y'all feel that today? Y'all feel that today? Please let me know in the chat how you feeling. Ooh, if you haven't taken a deep breath, and if you haven't taken a sip of some beverage, go ahead and do that now. Ooh, y'all. So this is not your typical prayer, but service. But I wanted to go ahead and really put it out around what is it that I am called to speak on today. I can preach a sermon, I can write the beautiful speeches, but I really asked for God and for the divine to use me. And there are a couple of things and messages that really just resonated with me deeply. One, y'all, it's funny because when I was getting this message last night, I was like, really, we about to be preaching some Michael Jackson, You Are Not Alone. But that was the phrase and that was the song that kept reverberating in my head. And instead, so that came up, and the other thing that came up for me was this resounding message about where you are right now is perfect. It's not the meantime, it's not the wilderness. Where you are and who you are is perfection. And so I felt led to speak to that today because many of us, everybody on this call right now is a high achieving person. You're a high achieving person, whether you're high achieving because of your business, you're high achieving because of your education, you're high achieving because of your status in your family. We all have this desire to be always moving and pushing and striving for the next thing. And there is nothing wrong with that because that desire was placed on our heart. But what I really wanted to remind and speak to you all today is that the right now is perfect. The right now is perfect. The right now is perfect. I want to tell you why the now is perfect. And one, I'm really pushing us to be thinking more about the now. Who you are is not by accident. You being in the place in your life right now is not by accident. And I'm not going to talk about the strife and the stress and some of the humanness that comes up, and that's the way we define who the now is. But I want to first remind you of who you are. I've said this on so many different lives, and I said this in individual prayers, and I want to say it again. You are the manifestation of your ancestors' wildest dreams. And when we talk about our ancestors, sometimes we always think around the stress and the struggle that they went through. But I really want to speak to the dreams that they had and the things that they desired and the joy that they were able to cultivate in their present moment and that dreams that they literally imbued in the next generation, the hopes that they had for the future, the hopes that they had for their children. And even in the joy that they had this feeling that everything that I'm doing, the next generation is going to improve and be even better than. The next generation is going to take it and go further down the goal line than I'm able to. And that's not a diss, and it's not a indictment on where they were. But it's just like for those of us that are parents, we know that we love our children and we're providing them our very best, and we still want the very best for them. We want them to take it to the next level. And I want to remind you that you are that person for your lineage. You are that person for your lineage. It is not by accident. It's not by coincidence that you are here and you were born into this time. You are here because you are a current fulfillment. Not because of your degrees, not because of your bank account, not because of the hopes and the desires that are on your heart. You are literally the fulfillment of your ancestors' hopes and dreams. And I want you to know that because so often we walk around with this shoulda, coulda, woulda feeling in our spirit, right? I should have did this, or I can't wait until I get this. And we have these different markers and guideposts that we've created for ourselves, and we don't often take the time to recognize the divinity that you are right now. You are right now. And I want to also just say, when I'm talking about ancestors, I'm not talking about just about the people you know, because people are like, well, my granddaddy, he on shit. And that other uncle, we weren't allowed to go to his house. I ain't talking about the ancestors whose names you know, because every dead person ain't an ancestor. Let me be clear about that. I'm talking about the people whose names you don't even know. I'm talking about the generations that go beyond 7. I'm talking about the essence of the eggs that you were. So you know a little bit of human biology. We know that a woman is born with all of the eggs that she will have for the rest of her life. And in those eggs are the eggs that they will have for the rest of their life. So you are literally a continuation of generations of even people you don't know. I'm also talking about our collective spirit as Black women, our collective community, because we know that who we are is not just bound by blood and lineage. We know our play cousins and the mama in the community, that they are just as much part of our lineage too. And I want you to know that all of that set the foundation for who you are today. And I want to let you know where you come from, because sometimes it feels like you're in the wilderness. You're thinking about where you used to be. You're thinking about who you want to be and who you aspire to be. And because we always are playing this tug of war with the past and the future and the future and the past, that we sometimes forget to have joy in the present. That's why I wanted us to start off in this moment today in prayer and meditation, so that you can remember, what does it feel like to be present in your body, present in the now, present in your perfection, because you are perfect. You are perfect. Sometimes we think perfection means without flaw, but perfection means divinely ordered. You are perfect already. If you don't earn another thing, you are perfect. If you never say another I'm sorry for the past, you are perfect. Where you are right now is divinely ordered, and you are perfect. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about why there is perfection in being in the now. Some of y'all know that I've taken a sabbatical from work for about 8 weeks, 9 weeks. And a lot of circumstances brought me to that place. And it took me, I'm going to be really honest, it took me 3 weeks, 3 out of those 8 weeks, just to come down from the busyness in my head, the stress in my head, anxiety, and just come down to a place of rest. And I was journaling this morning around what have been my lessons learned from that time. And I want to read y'all a little bit of something from my journal. One of the things I'm shaking right now, not because of nervousness or anxiety, I'm shaking just because I'm loving the way that this is all divinely inspired. I always write down notes for the things I want to speak about, like, just jot down a few things. But I ask above all to be used as a vessel, to be used as a spirit, to be used and let the voices come through. And I always pray that my ego, my humanness be removed, so whatever needs to be said can be said. And so I had jotted down a few notes about things I wanted to talk about this morning. And before I came on live, I was, doing my own spiritual grounding, because you can't be a leader if you don't take care of yourself. And I wrote in my journal. I hadn't written in my journal in some months. It's funny, I can see on my phone that folks are typing, but I can't see it on the computer. But that's fine, because that means I ain't supposed to be seeing it. And one of the things was, I'm going to read this exactly to you because I want you to know it, because it's not just for me. And so I'm smiling because of how divinely ordered this is. And it took me 3 weeks to learn how to rest, to simply rest without an agenda, rest without a to-do list, rest without guilt, rest without feeling anxious. And I wrote down, I deserve rest, full stop. And I'm reading this for you. I want you to hear this in your voice. Not as a reward, not after pushing myself to the brink, not as an every now and then luxury. Rest and ease is the way. When I am resting, things become so much clearer. The inflammation and tension in my body melts away. Truth has a place to go. Truth has a place to go. And when I'm resting, I have ears that can listen. I say that because we are led often by our to-do list, our task list, and the obligations and responsibilities that we have. And so often we get to our rest and get to tending to our place when there's time left over. And we feel often overwhelmed and anxious and pushing, and we tell ourselves lots of stories around what rest means. Some of us think that rest means laziness. Some of us think that rest means non-productiveness. Some of us feel like if we're not busy, we're not useful or valuable. And I'm not going to get into the whole conversation around where all of that harmful rhetoric and beliefs stem from. This is not the place for that. You got to be in the divinity school for that. I want to give you instead and tell you what you're missing when you don't rest. From a biological standpoint, rest is truly the only time where your body heals. Did you know that? Your body is not healing from disease and issues and all of those things unless you're resting. You know, when you were a kid, you heard that you grow in your sleep. Your body heals and repairs when it's at rest. And I don't mean just any kind of sleep, because there are those of us that have anxious sleep, that our brains are still going. Or there's those of us that have lucid dreaming. So we're doing spiritual work in our dream. But it's only at rest when your body can truly repair. When your body is at rest, then you hear things. You get to experience God. You get to notice that bird in the window. You get to notice your great grandmother's voice coming to you. You get the clarity about what to do next. You get the discernment around who those people are and what the truth is when you rest, when you remove the noise of productivity and busyness. Truth has a place to go when you are at rest. Some of us don't rest because we want to avoid that truth. We don't want to listen to that voice and that thing that's telling us and nudging us of the truth that we don't want to hear because it's uncomfortable. And we don't want to hear that truth, and it's uncomfortable because we haven't figured out, if I don't do this, then what's going to happen? The XYZ plan. We don't have a plan ready for that truth. I encourage you to let God be God. Let divine be divine. And that when you are at ease and at rest, you don't have to figure it all out. You get the breadcrumbs of the next things that are coming. That's the next step for you to take. You get to remove your you-ness, your traumatized self, your little self, your limited self from the equation, and let truth be truth. So many people come to me talking about, I don't know who my ancestors are, and I want to connect to spirit, and I want to strengthen my spiritual practice. And I let people know your first deity that you got to pray to, your first leader in your life. It ain't your mom, it ain't your daddy, it ain't even Jesus. It's your Ori. It's your head. It's your capital S self. It's who your grandmama said when she said, listen to your first mind. Your first mind is the first God that you got to pray to. And it's the first one that so many of us are willing to avoid. We want to avoid what our self is saying. So I want to remind you that those nudges are not by accident. Those voices are not by accident. You are not by accident, and you are not here by accident. There is no such thing as coincidence in this universe. There's a reason why some of y'all been on my mailing list for the last 10 years, but you're showing up today. There is a reason why that you're here today, because it's not even for me to know. I see it clearly. I see it and you know exactly who you are. I see it for you. But I want you to see it for yourself. Because I'm nobody's guru. I ain't nobody's God. You are. I want to let you let that sink in you for a minute. Because I ain't going to hold you all day. We ain't a Baptist church. You hear me? On the back of these notes, I asked the question out to the universe. So how do you get there? How do you get to knowing? How do you get to rest? How do you get to understanding? How do you listen? Because church and education facilities will tell you that unless you know a specific thing and got a specific lesson and got read the syllabi and got the instruction, then what you know is not enough. That's what the world wants you to believe, that what you know is not enough. You got to have a sign sealed and delivered by an expert. You got to have a sign sealed and delivered by someone better, smarter, bolder, older than you. And there's place and time for all of that. Don't get me wrong. But I asked the question, what do the people need to know? How do they learn? And Spirit said, be still. Sit down somewhere. Simple as that. Sit down somewhere and be still. I gave you that body scan earlier as a practice for you to take with you. To be still. To be still. I want to give you some extra with that. And I ain't Christian, but I can quote the Bible. And it says, be still and know that I am God. It's why our grandmama said, turn off all the lights and the electricity when it's raining and God is doing their work. Be still. Be still. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and listen to my voice. Be still and see the beauty and divinity that is you. Be still and know that you are whole and holy just as you are. You don't have to earn nothing. You don't have to be deserving of nothing. You already are. You already be. And because you be, you are enough. Because you be, you are divine. Because you be, you are called. Because you be, you are powerful. I'm going to read this next little excerpt because this is for somebody else. When we be, a lot of times we like to be busy because we feel uncomfortable with what comes up. We get uncomfortable with the voices that we hear. We get uncomfortable with the truth. We get uncomfortable and we start worrying and seeing ourselves through other people's lenses, and we start seeing ourselves through other people's idea and projection. So let me read this because this is for you. I want you to hear this in your voice. My job, your job, isn't to make myself fit the environment. My job is to be the most me that I can be. When I'm more me, my life is that of ease. That's how I honor my ancestors who made me. It's how I remain connected to God, and I can hear so much more clearer. I magnetize the people who are for me to me. I belong in every room that I choose to enter. Let that sit in your spirit right now. You want to hear it again? I'm going to read it one more again. My job isn't to make myself fit the environment. My job is to be the most me that I can be. When I'm more me, my life is that of ease. That's how I honor my ancestors who made me me. It's how I remain connected to God. And I can hear so much clearer. I magnetize the people who are for me to me. I belong in every room that I choose to enter. Father, Mother, Creator God, I thank you for my own courage to speak the truth that's on my lips. I thank you for being a vessel and for being open to speak from my heart without worry about perfection, without worry of getting it right. I thank you for allowing me to speak to the hearts of the people who desire to be here so that they may remember their connection to you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you with my life. I thank you with my blood. I thank you with my breath. I thank you. I thank you for being a mirror because everything that they see in me is nothing but a reflection of who they are. And I thank you. I ain't even ready to close out in benediction, y'all, but I'm going to have to close out. If we was in person, I would go ahead and give y'all the floor and say what you need to say. But I want to give you a little bit of housekeeping notes because I pray that this is what you needed. The first thing I want you to know is that this sister sanctuary will be up for the next 24 hours and then it comes down off of this group. So make sure that for the next ones that you're here. These sister sanctuaries are archived in my library, Divinity School, for self and spiritual activation. That's how you access the recordings. That's how you access all of the live lessons and the integration calls. I'll be releasing the date when the next cycle of classes will begin, but I will drop the link for you to access the archive. If you are someone who feels a calling on your life and you feel like you have a message that's been on your heart and that God's been trying to speak to you and you can't get clear about what it is and you need to have some one-on-one time with me because that's the only way to work with me, go ahead and book a reading. I'll drop the link in the chat real quick. Ooh, y'all, my fingers are on fire. Hope that's the link that worked. That's how you can work with me one-on-one. I hope that this is what you needed. Is this what you needed? Go ahead and say something in the chat. Is this what you needed today? Thank you. Natasha says, this is every syllable that I needed. My dear friend, Ifa Orire, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, said that this was on time for her today. Hope says this was so needed today. Oh, I got rest planned. I got a pedicure and a manicure coming up next. I also have some rest to just fulfill my spirit. I'm coming back again with this next month. And I'm just thankful, and I'm thankful, and I'm thankful. If you were in the spirit and you didn't get to get every word and you somebody that needs to write like me and get it down, make sure you do that in the next 24 hours. If you know there's somebody that needs to be here, invite them here. If you need to DM me, go ahead and DM me, and I steer you to what you need. I love y'all abundantly. I love you because you are mine and I am yours. I love you because we are we. I love you. Thank y'all so much for being here today. And I can't wait to connect and fellowship with y'all next time. Be on the mailing list and see what other things are coming up soon. Love y'all.